My name is Roy Hamilton, and I'm in the College of Education, and I am the Interim Assistant Dean, and I am a first generation success story.
My name is Garifalya Durkin. I am a first year grad student seeking my master's in library and information science at Chicago State University. And I am a first generation Greek American. My father is from an island called Lefkada in Greece. It is southwest, near Sicily, and it's as a first year grad student at Chicago State has been, although challenging in some ways, being that I am also a new mom, and this is my first year as a grad student. And then also just the regular obstacles that first generation students usually have and have had, if especially you are millennial. Any of the recessions and difficulties in the past 5 years may have thrown at you. I'd have to say though that Chicago State has helped us, or at least I feel like it has helped by just giving me the opportunity to get into a program that is flexible with my schedule and to help just kind of get back on track with things. I am really happy to be part of Chicago State and look forward to growing with it.
Hi, I am Mayshawn Mosley Milford, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Dean of Student Success right here at Chicago State University. I am a first generation success story because my journey as a first gen student actually started right here on Chicago State's campus. When I was in high school, I had the pleasure of being in Project Fame Upward Bound Trio, which was located here on Chicago State's campus. Trio programs work with high school students, adults, and those in the community that aspire to obtain a 4-year degree. I was the first generation in my family, and they specialize in working with first gen students because they provided the resources and the supports that we otherwise might not otherwise have, just with our regular family and our other support systems. And so not only did I go on to complete a bachelor's degree, I also am the first in my family to complete a master's degree. And then I later came to Chicago State University and actually enrolled and completed my doctorate of education in educational leadership, being the first in my family to do so. So I am a first gen success story because not only did I complete 3 degrees, but I also had the privilege for a number of years of working with our TRIO programs at Chicago State to support other first gen learners that wanted to go on to complete their bachelor's and their master's and their doctorate degrees. And so I'm really excited to be here today serving as Dean of Student Success and to also be an example for other first gen students that think they want to go on and pursue a 4-year degree, and I'm living proof that it is possible. And so I can remember as a high school student knowing that I wanted my doctorate degree, and I would fantasize having a license plate that said PhD in SYK, PhD in Psych. Well, I didn't get the PhD in Psych, but I do have the doctorate degree, and I am a first gen success story.
Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Reeves, and I am a first generation graduate. My story is really simple. My parents were sharecroppers from down south. They came up here to Chicago with a high school education. They started businesses, and they instilled in me that college education was important. I received my bachelor's degree, my master's, and my doctorate degree. And what I would tell any student, first generation, is keep going. Finish strong, as my church will say this month. Finish strong, never give up. It may take time, you might not do it in 4 years, but never stop. Finish.
Hi, Hi, my name is April Jewett. I am the Director of Career Development here at Chicago State University, and I am a first generation success story. Growing up, I always knew that I had to go to school. My parents were very encouraging when it came to academics. I think my dad was probably a little harder than my mom, but I always knew I had to go to school. And when it came time to get ready to go to school, even though I was in all these prep programs and stuff like that, I had no clue how to do it. I ended up at a college fair where I was supposed to go to a different school out on the East Coast. Had received a scholarship and was told if I like redid some testing and got a higher score, I'd get more. When I went to call the school, no one would answer, and I freaked out as an 18-year-old, not wanting to fly, to the coast, not knowing anyone, not having anyone picking up the phone from school. So I ended up last minute in May reaching out to my aunt who was working at a school in Kentucky. Ended up down there with no clue of what this looked like. I hadn't even really applied. And just showed up to school. And I think being a first generation college student, a lot of times you end up with these stories where you just didn't know. Someone was able to help you and support you. And so through the support that I received at my school, I actually learned about the field of higher education and knew that I wanted to work with college students after I graduated and changed my major a couple times. And knew that eventually I would end back up in higher ed doing those same supports for students. And so while the trajectory might have looked a little bit different, ended up helping students through a nonprofit first, and then now kind of having my feet in the higher ed world for the past 3 years. It's been an enjoyable experience as a first generation college student to give back in a way that I was given to, as someone that always knew she had to go to school, but didn't necessarily know what that looked like or what the process was going to be. Having that support system around me in school really helped me to graduate, to get across the stage. There were plenty of times where I thought, I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to have to come back for another semester. And just looking back on my experience and seeing how, even though I didn't know, there were people there to support me along the way, and using those resources was so, so pivotal in my ability to get to graduation. And so this is just a little bit about my story as a first generation student.